Well, like I said after the game with Miami, I was proud of our team's effort. I thought that we played extremely hard. Uh, Fortunately, we made a couple more plays than they did, and we found a way to win the game. Uh, it's like every game, after we went over the film yesterday and reviewed it, you flush it, you move on. And now our focus is on Virginia, which is having a tremendous season. They have a dynamic quarterback who is as good as anybody in our league. And defensively, I've been really impressed with the numbers. I think they're second in the league in scoring defense. They've really put together a good season. I think the quarterback kind of transformed their football team for them.
Questions?
You look at their front four, they're pretty young up front. What do you see from them?
Well, they're pretty young. I mean, they have a lot of pressure packages. They do a lot of stuff on defense. I think their big play guys are more the linebackers and outside linebackers, and then they're really good in the secondary. So, those guys that are playing up front, they're not asking them to do a whole lot, but they're doing what they ask them to do.
You've had a couple of turnovers on special teams. Is that encouraging? Do you see them making some progress?
Yeah, well, Presley punted the ball really well the other night, and we got the one muff kick. The other was a really nice tackle by Tariq Carpenter. The guy had him stood up, and he came in and knocked the ball loose on the kickoff, and Johnny got it. So, yeah, I mean, anytime you can get turnovers, we've been fortunate. We've gotten a lot of them this year.
How is Virginia defensively better than they were last year? Is it just personnel, or how do you?
I think probably just another year in the system, and they're more. They do a lot more stuff. They're more diverse, and I think their secondary and linebackers have played really well, and they've gotten people in a lot of third and longs, and when they've done that, they've had some really good pressure stuff and their offense is different. We're first in the league in time of possession at 34 minutes, and they're second at 32. So it's like I've always said, if the other team don't have the ball, hard to score.
You have senior day this Saturday. What can you say about the senior class and their contributions?
Well, I think it's always emotional. I think it's emotional for them. It kind of hits me when I stand out there and you see them with their parents and how quickly it goes by and flies by. In their own unique way, they all have a story. Some of them have come in and achieved a lot of success on the field and a lot of stuff. Others maybe haven't achieved what they wanted to. But in any regard, they've all been a big part of the program and a part of moving forward. You can't stay in a group or a family type atmosphere for 4 to 5 years and not be a big part of it and not be close and drawn together. And so it'll be emotional, and then you got to put it behind you and go play.
In the preseason, you said for most coaches, they don't know what kind of team they have. 3-4 games. It seems like this team took you a little bit longer. What do you think about this team now as far as it's evolved?
I think our football team can be a pretty good football team when we don't self-destruct, and you could probably say that about a lot of teams. But I think that when we've played pretty clean and we don't have all the turnovers and the penalties, we can be a pretty tough out. When you turn the ball over and that kind of thing, we've done some really. It's kind of Jekyll and Hyde. I think offensively. You could throw some stats out there that are, I think we've had the fewest 3 and outs of any team in the country, and we've scored touchdowns on 43% of our possessions, and we've done some really good things, and then at times in games we've disappeared for a half or turned the ball over or not done good things. And defensively, you could say the same thing. We've been pretty good on first down, and we've been pretty good about not giving up big plays. We've gotten a lot of turnovers, but third down's been horrendous. So it's like it's kind of a mixed bag. And when we put it all together and don't beat ourselves, we can be a pretty tough out.
Are you, you kind of touched on this, kind of what you think, I guess playing more mistake-free sort of turned this season around for you guys a little bit, but just also, I'm just curious how, I guess, must be pretty proud of these guys when you could have probably gone a different way at certain points in the season.
Yeah, I mean, it turned the season around, but everybody was, I mean, you can't quit after 3 games. I mean, it's like the South Florida game, we played awful, and we still should have won the game, and we were up 10 in the fourth quarter, and that was a great example of self-destructing. We're going back to go up 10, and we turn the ball over, and then we let them score the last 3 or 4 times they get the ball like we're not out there. And we gave up 2 kicks for touchdown. I mean, we did everything you could do in a game to lose a game. The next week at Pitt, maybe whether it was a little bit of a hangover or whatnot, you give them, they turned out to be a little better than people thought too. But, you know, we disappeared for the first half, really on offense and defense. Neither was very good in the first half. And then we played Clemson, and everybody thought the sky was falling, and lo and behold, if you go back and look, we probably played Clemson about as good or better than anybody has, other than Syracuse, who got to play against their walk-on freshman quarterback for a couple of quarters. So it was, you know, it's like I tell the team, it's probably never as good or as bad as it seems in anything, and I think that's probably the rule with this team. We probably weren't as bad as people thought early, and as you go through, you know, games are hard to win. I mean, you can go through and look at our games now. I mean, North Carolina's 28-28 in the fourth quarter. You could have lost that game. We certainly could have lost the game the other night. I mean, there's very few teams in America that are going to show up every week and just blow people out. There's too much parity in college football. So, you know, when you play clean and make plays, you have a chance to be successful, and if you don't, the other thing happens. This league is so balanced that it's like I said at the start of the year, and I don't think people pay much attention other than Clemson. Everybody is pretty similar. And if you look, if you don't play well, you can lose. So just kind of the way it is.
The offensive line, could you describe just the progress you've seen in them from over the course of the season?
Well, it took a while to get healthy and to get the 5 guys out there. You know, we've got probably 6, 7 guys we're playing. There's probably 4 of them that are pretty consistent. And then sometimes it's hit and miss with the other 3. You know, sometimes they're good, sometimes you just kind of have to find the right combination. I think that, you know, Parker Braun has been pretty good all year. He's a good player. You can kind of count on him. You know, the rest of those guys, you look at the tackles, once we got settled in with Zach and Andrew, when Andrew's healthy, and then Jahazel's out there where he played a couple years ago, which helps. I mean, that's kind of where he's at. And then the other guard is kind of been Connor and Brad. They just kind of roll in there, and that's kind of been a work in progress. One game one plays, the next game the other one plays more. It's just kind of like who's playing better when they go in there.
I was talking about Parker and Andrew a little bit ago, and they were both saying how they've tried to kind of be more energetic in practice, have maybe a better attitude about things. I'm curious if there's something you've seen at all out of that, and makes the line in general.
You know, I've never seen Parker not be energetic. I think he just likes to play. You don't ever have to I mean, in practice, it's like, whoa. You know, it's never go with him. It's like, whoa. I guess Andy's older. He's a senior. I've never seen Andrew has never been a problem in practice. I mean, he's always kind of, he's one of those kids that's going to be where he's supposed to and do what he's supposed to. And in the time that he's been here, I don't know that he's ever been in my office for anything. You know, I mean, Parker's never missed a class since he's been here. You know, I've never missed a breakfast check. Never. They're just those kind of kids. They're not problem children.
Has that maybe been, their energy has been kind of, what's the word, infectious, I guess, with the rest of the group, I think, as far as the way they practice or anything like that, or?
I guess we haven't had a problem with practice all year. I mean, truthfully, practice is kind of is what it is. You know, there might be a day you have to yell at them, but that's in 40 years I've never coached a team that wasn't like that. But for the most part, practice has been okay. These kids work. They don't complain.
Learning something about two of your walk-ons, the redshirt seniors, Cheyenne and Melvin. Two guys really have barely played at all, but obviously have stuck it out. I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about both and kind of what they meant to your team.
Yeah, the guys like Cheyenne and Melvin are invaluable. I mean, people don't get to see them play, but they're a huge part of the team. I mean, Melvin is he's always holding court every day and stretch and practice. And I joke with Melvin. I walk by him about twice a week, and I ask him if he's still here. I go, "You're still here?" And you know, we have a good time going back and forth. But he takes a ton of practice reps. Early, he's been on the scout team. I mean, guys like that are invaluable. Cheyenne's always been on the scout team ever since he's been here. And even as a senior, we don't put normally the seniors on the scout team. He wants to go to the scout team because he likes to play. And he knows he's probably not going to play on the other field. So, you know, to do what they do and balance, I think Cheyenne's probably got a 3.8 grade point average and all those kind of things. And they're fun to have on the team because they're guys that never come across my desk for anything. You know, everything that they do is usually positive, that kind of thing. And they're a big part of the team. You've got to have those guys. And it's really hard to get walk-ons here. It's really hard because of the school.
Has it been nice to just, on a personal level, have the kind of rebound and have the expectations you had set for yourself at the start of the season in terms of the way you thought the season would unfold?
Well,
Have it come to fruition, I guess?
my expectations were certainly not to be 6-4. I can tell you that. They never are. But I think once we got started, 1-3, to dig yourself out, and we still got a couple games left. So it's, you know, this is a big game on Saturday. We can clinch a winning season and get to 7, and you know, then you got 2 games left. So yeah, I mean, you don't really, I guess as a coach, you don't get into all that. You just kind of take the next game and you try to help the guys win. And it's kind of like I said, from a season or a career or whatever, and there's plenty of time to look at all that when it's through. You don't have time during the season. You got to get ready for the next game.